So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining this session. And last week, something interesting has happened, which we will discuss. Before that, maybe I just want to cover a few important things which has happened. And maybe most of you might be using Telegram, and you might be aware of t.me, right? This is a Telegram core domain. Like if you want to share something, it will always be t.me something, your username or something, right? So that has been suspended by the .me registry. And what the suspension means that all the DNS server or the global DNS server which are there, they will not able to render all those core links which is available for t.me. So if you will try it, maybe you will not able to access those links. So that change took effect today, and I have seen that there are so many discussions going on. Maybe they will, because this is just a hold at the moment. If you go here, you may able to see it. So domain status server hold from ICANN, and this is on hold for t.me. Okay, so this is one of the latest news. You might be thinking why. Even initially, I also thought the same. And when I did a little bit research, I got to know that there are so many hacking groups are or phishing group are trying to use the t.me domain and doing that illegal activities. Maybe that could be the reason, but real reason they have not mentioned anywhere yet. Okay, so that is the one news. Another, I found one old video. I have posted it on Twitter. That is the beautiful ASIC mining machine. I just want to show you this mining machine. So this was the first ASIC mining machine built in 2012 uh, by an engineer called Yifu Guo. Hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. So this was the mining machine for Bitcoin mining in 2012, and this was the first ASIC mining machine. So that is also interesting stuff. And if you remember initial, I have mentioned the last week something interesting has happened. Can anybody guess what has happened last week, or if I will tell precisely, maybe 4 days ago? Anything, anyone feel or anything has happened or anyone is aware of? Okay, solo block. Yes. So solo block, yes, but that is not something like it is happening in every month these days because yes, one more doubt one person was having. He was asking, did Mara stop mining Bitcoin? But the answer is no. You can see the 45 minutes ago, the Mara pool. So they are still doing Bitcoin mining. They have not pivoted fully on AI. So that is the answer for this. Now, 4 days ago, what has happened? Uh, you might have seen the public pool post. Just give me a second. Let me see if I can find it out quickly. Yes. So this block got mined 4 days ago on July 10th. And if you go on mempool.space, this is the block number on 957382. So what is interesting here, this person was using a solo Bitaxe miner. What I'm trying to convey is that it is just using 1 terahash to 1.2 terahash, and with that, only with single solo miner, definitely he is a extremely lucky guy, like because this is a 1 in a million chance, but you have chance and this guy was able to mine a solo block and was able to get the whole 3.125 reward. If you will see below, so this is, he got 3.138. So because 3.125 along with the this was 0.013 BTC, all those transaction fees. If I will copy this, copy link address, or I can just click here. I'm not sure whether the lucky person is still aware that he was able to mine a block, because I'm still doubting. Why I'm doubting right now? Because if you will see all the previous solo miner, whenever they get a block, they will just redeem it to some other UTXO. They just don't want to put the money in the same one, and even they stopped and changed this address as well for the next mining. This is the same some pattern which I have seen it. But let me quickly open public pool. We haven't covered public pool in our sessions earlier, but maybe this session we will cover it. Yes. So this is the public pool, and I'm just putting his BTC address here in which he was able to get. And if you will see, because this is you is currently showing you the recent hash rate, but the day the block was mined, I have checked the same day in just 2-3 hours time, and I was able to see the hash rate was not more than 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So he is using one Bitaxe, and currently also you can see this. It is running it around in 1 terahash or less than 1 terahash. So this is a very optimistic incident has happened for solo miners, that even because I know many people have asked me that, okay, it is very unlikely someone will able to mine a block with just 1 terahash, 3 terahash, 5 terahash, 10 terahash. But there are so many incident has already happened earlier, and this is the recent one. Like some people say that, okay, maybe old time it has happened when difficulty was not that high. Right now the difficulty is on par, and it is very difficult to mine using a single Bitex. But some person from somewhere, from some rabbit hole was able to do that, and he was able to get the whole reward along with the transaction fees. Now, is this the single incident happened? No, because if I remember correctly, this has happened in 2025 as well. Let me see. 212, or maybe I'm wrong. Let me see. Yes. So I think 16th month ago, the similar thing has happened. When I'm saying similar thing, means someone from very less terahash per second was able to mine a block, and he was using something around 3 terahash per second. I could not recall it. It could be 2 or it could be 4, but 2 or 3 terahash is also very small hash rate. And this guy was able to mine it successfully, or it was 1 giga, 1 terahash. I'm also not. Let me see if I can still able to see it on solo CK pool. So we can also verify this thing as well. Okay, so let me, because this is very old, let me see if the data is still there. I just copy it. I will go here. I will put the Bitcoin address. Okay, because see, I have told you generally people stopped uh, because they do not stop mining. They just change the address for the next thing, because they don't want all the rewards in the single Bitcoin address. So they change it. And if you will see, it was um, you will not able to see the previous, but if I remember correctly, it was something in terahash, single terahash only, and you can see this. This he might be using Bitaxe Ultra, and he might be getting 1.2 terahash or something, right? So he was able to successfully mine. That was also last year. And if I remember correctly, in 2024 also, someone with 2-3 terahash per second was able to mine it. If I remember it correctly, 853742, or I may be wrong. Let me see. It was also from Solo Sequel, so I think it is this only. And this guy was also able to mine the block. Let me quickly copy this address, paste it here, just see if it is. So it is not active now. So user is not active, and because this is a very old 2 years old data, but if I remember correctly, you may find these posts on X. If you search about it, you may find some post on X or even on Reddit that these guys in 2024 and 25 was able to mine a solo block with 2 or 3 terahash per second. Okay, so I would still recommend everyone to at least run a solo Bitcoin miner if you can. You should also run a node, but maybe first start with the mining. And if you feel that you want to run a solo node, you can also do that. Now, one thing, as we have covered CK pool earlier, you might be remember that I have told you that some percentage you have to give to solo CK pool, because what you are doing is they are creating a block for you. So your miner don't need to create a template. They will create on your behalf. Your miner will just mine the block, and they will take some commission whenever you will able to successfully mine the block. This is the same with CK pool. This is also similar with Grains and some other even Atlas pool as well. The margin would be different, or the commission would be different, but uh, there are some. But there is a quite interesting thing in public pool. If I will go back into the home page, can you see they have mentioned if you mine, if your miner finds a block, the rewards go to your Bitcoin address. Means they will not, you don't need to trust the public pool. You can also verify it using some script, which we have discussed it earlier. Maybe I will show, if anyone might not be aware, just ping me personally later. I will share you the GitHub script. You can always verify whether the pool is scam or pool, the template which they are generating, making sure that reward will goes to directly to your Bitcoin address. Okay, but I could not see any commission section, right? If you will see in CK pool, you will definitely find. So this is stats. I just need to go to CK pool, not the stats. So yeah. And if you will go, you can see no frills, no fuss, 2% fees they will take. So if you are able to mine a block, 2% fees they will take. Brains will take less, similar like Atlas pool also. Now public will not take anything. Okay, that is an interesting part that we see the CK pool and others are taking it something, so at least they can sustain for a long. Now you might be having some doubt how someone on earth can able to run the solo mining pool without taking any commission from the block reward. So all the entire block reward and transaction fees will directly goes to you. So actually what has happened, maybe before that, um, you might need to be aware of little bit history of the public pool, like who created it and whether it is an open source or not. So this is open source. So even if you will go to GitHub, even if you click here, this is a GitHub icon, and you will able to see the public pool repo. So even if you don't want to use this, you can also run your own public pool internally as well. And many people do that. So as you can see the name Benjamin Wilson, he was a very well-known open source Bitcoin developer. And like public pool was not funded by any other massive corporation. He just started developing this thing when I'm not remember exact year. It was, I guess, 23 or 24, maybe. So that time the Bitex and this home mining movements was taking attention. Like people, Want Clue and others were most working on Bitex, those small miner. You might have seen it for sure. Let me show it to you. This the fully open source Bitcoin hobby miner, I generally say. So that time, Wilson thought that okay, people may purchase this, but they are still people will not able to run their solo node. And if so, the vision was like he can create similar like Bitex for pool. So he has created public pool and it was completely open source and it is also focused on solo Bitcoin mining application. And even if you want, you can also run it internally and just on Umbrella OS, I think there is a functionality, if I remember correctly, you can run those things. So, or if you don't want all those headache, you can connect to the public pool. So here there are a few options they have mentioned. Stratum V1 plus TLS. Anyone has any doubt or anything? Feel free to ask. Otherwise, yeah. Okay. So yes. So okay. What I was okay. So yeah, Stratum V1, Stratum V1 plus TLS and V2, which we will discuss what are the difference. But at least he has created a pool which all the solo miners can use, and you don't need to give any commission to public pool. Now you might be thinking how they are sustaining on this. So for this, I'm not sure anyone is aware of Gitcoin. So maybe you might be aware of Bitcoin, but Gitcoin is like, yes, this website, bitcoin.co. So they fund some open source development projects. So that grant is mostly focused on development grants. Like if you are doing some kind of development for Bitcoin community, you can always apply for grant in Bitcoin. And uh, from public pool is also one part of it. They are mostly getting donation, even if you will see below. See, here they have also mentioned no fees in capital, right? So here below, so generally they are sustaining because of those grants, all those donation model. Many people are also running it locally using Umbrella OS and others. So you can just take it out the code, which is there in the GitHub, and you can use that. That is one thing. And now moving ahead, there are two connection method, right? One is solo, in which they have clearly mentioned if your miner finds a block, the rewards goes to your Bitcoin interest. Fine. And they also has a PPLNS, means last and share, pay per last and shares. Okay, so mine together and split block rewards by each miner's recent valid work. What does it mean in a layman term? Like if five people are uh, running it continuously, one of them will able to mine a block successfully. That will get distributed among all five based on the contribution they are doing. So that is the PPRNS method. Okay. Now we will see the difference between stratum V1 TLS, and stratum V2. Anyone is aware of, because V1 versus V2 we have discussed it in our previous sessions, but V1 and V1 plus TLS, if anyone have used or anyone has any idea on this. So V1 and V1 plus TLS, if you will see in that, okay, so stratum V1 is not encrypted. So whatever communication you are doing from pool on your miner, all are fully encrypted. So maybe some phishing may happen, some may hijack, or something may happen because and nothing is encrypted here. So TLS we use in the all normal development scenario as well. So V1 plus TLS is, we are using stratum V1 because everyone knows that V2 is encrypted one. But there are already many people are using V1 plus TLS, in which all the features are there with V1, but those are not unencrypted, not a raw JSON format, or they are encrypted using TLS. Okay, so these are difference. You can use any of them. You just need to add these details in your Bitcoin miner. You just need to add your username based on your BTC address and the worker name, and you will able to connect to the public pool. And if public pool will, so what public pool will do? So public pool as a solo pool, because we are discussing mostly for solo. So as a solo pool, if your miner succeed in mining a block, then you collect the entire block reward, which is not shared with other participants of the pool. Maybe thousands of people are using public pool, but that will not get distributed. If you have mined it, you will get it. And public pool will provide a block template to your miner. So you don't need node and all those things for that. You just need a normal miner, connect to the public pool. Public pool will provide a block template to your miner without you needing running your own Bitcoin node, because maybe people don't want to run it at the moment in initial stage. So to cut down the barrier, you just directly connect to the solo mining pool. If you don't want to give commission, connect to the public pool, and he will give you all the template. Miner just need to mine it, and if he was able to find that or able to mine it successfully, you will win the jackpot. Once I'm saying jackpot means all the rewards along with the thing. Okay. Even if you will go below, you will able to see how many people are contributing right now. These are the connected miners list, and you may see so many people are running in petahash per second. So never feel that there are someone else who is running petahash per second. How I will get it? No, it's not like the more you are running. If this is not the logic here. The one who will solve it fast will get the reward. And this is a puzzle. So it doesn't matter that you are running 70 petahash per second means you will, maybe your chances are little high, but it will not happen that you will able to do it. Otherwise, those terahash which they were contributing will not able to mine a successful blockchain. Okay. Now, I have had some documents which I have prepared long ago for something, so I can show it to you. If you connect it, how you just need to connect it, and maybe in the next coming session, I will connect a Bitaxe or maybe any other solo miner. Will connect to the solo pool, and we'll try to do it first. We'll connect with public pool, CK pool, brains pool, and we'll able to see the logs and all those things. And maybe I will also explain you little later like how you can see the logs and make sure whether your device is mining or not, because it happens sometimes you connect it to the mining pool, but your miner is not working properly, which you should able to do it yourself and able to see all those logs, even if all the ASICs are working, because in some cases maybe you have multiple ASICs. You can also see that either all ASICs are working or only two are working and one is having some issue. Okay, so these are the lists which we have seen it in the website. This connected miner, this was an older screenshot, I believe. So that's why you are seeing online devices. And if you want to add a worker, this two things only you have to do. You have to add this stratum plus TCP and the public pool.io and the port number. And username will always be your BTC address dot worker name, and password you can put anything. Stratum, we have no issues. So these are the things you have to copy and where you have to copy. So whatever you are using. So I should have for Bitaxe as well. Let me see if I have. Okay, hash rate. Let me see if I have this Exos. Yes. So, okay, so this is okay. So now we can see and I can compare it right now. Even okay, you can able to see it here as well. Okay. So these two things which you can copy, always copy it from the official website to make sure the port number and everything is correct. Like if you are doing solo and if you want to do it, just V1 can do that. If you want to use V1 plus TS, just change the port number, which is 4333. Now, this is the screenshot for Bitaxe because Bitaxe will be running XOS. If you are using any other like Avalon Canon or maybe Brains BMM, which runs Brains OS, maybe the settings would be different. Not the settings would be different. Maybe the GUI interface would be a little different. You just need to find the setting icon, go there. You just need to add the Wi-Fi SSID because you have to connect your miner with the Wi-Fi. So you just need to put your local home Wi-Fi along with the password. Then you have to add the Stratum URL, which here publicpool.io, which you can able to see it, sorry, here, and then the port number, which you will put it in the Stratum port. In some minor configuration, sometimes they ask it in the one line itself. You can directly put it here itself. Because here you can see they have already mentioned you don't need to include that stratum plus TCP and all those things. You don't need to. You just need to put the public pool.io, the port number, and the stratum user. So if you remember here, we have discussed that stratum user, or if I can show it here, the stratum user should be username, should be your BTC address where you need your reward along with the worker name. What does it mean? It may happen I'm running 10 Bitaxe. Do I need 10 BTC address? Maybe I don't want headache. I don't want each address for each Bitaxe. I will just use one address and I can change the worker name maybe Bitaxe 1, Bitaxe 2, Bitaxe 3 to Bitaxe 10. The same way, here you just need to put the address which he has put and maybe dot you can see it here. And here just put BRR, which is the nothing but the username or the worker name. And then the password, which you can by default put it X, or even if you do not put it, it will work. And these are the by default until unless you are not aware of this voltage and frequency setting, I will never recommend to touch it because it may generate more heat. So it should be optimal. So if you are not running, always run with the default uh, settings. So once you run it, then what will happen? Let us suppose I have connected it. Okay, then how I will make sure that it is connected successfully. You don't need to do anything. Just come to the public pool and go to the My Worker section. The same thing which I have done it for this guy. Like this was the address. I just copied it. I went to public pool. Let us suppose this was your address. You just click on My Miners. and it will take some time to sync. And once it sync, you will able to see the details here. It will show you how much you are contributing. Right now it is showing nothing, right? But maybe if you have address, you can put it, and if it is contributing, you will able to see it here, all those things. It may take, it depends like how powerful your machine is. And also it depends on the pool, like pool will take this much shares and then they will start showing it and refreshing it in the portal. Maybe if you run it for 5-10 minutes, after that it will start showing it here. Okay. So, okay, let me move further. And once you do that, you will able to see, like if you're running it 24/7, you will always able to see your best difficulty which you have achieved. What is the current network difficulty? You will also able to see the network hash rate. You will also able to see, and current block height also you will able to see. And how many workers you are running, you will also able to see, because here in this case, he has just added one. That's why you are seeing this. If you want to add more, you can able to see all those sessions. If I want to show it to you, I can go here in the public pool. We can open any of this. Maybe see, because see, he might not be using one machine with 70 petahash, right? If I will click, oh, okay, 1 second. Okay, these are showing devices. If I have some ad, okay, it is not showing popular. Okay, this is the block. So this is the one which is it was showing, right? Bitaxe. Let me show this. Maybe he might be using multiple. So these are the recent found blocks. And okay, let me see if he's using multiple miners. Oh, so he see generally it happens like if you get the reward, you just change the hash rate. But in the CK pool, maybe I can show it to you. So you can see there are so many miners they are running, right? If I will click on top 10 to use miner, I cannot able to. So you can see they are using 2 active workers. It is using 16. This guy is using 21 workers. So 21 could be the mix of Bitex, Avalon Nano, or maybe Antminer as well. So these are all the devices you can combine, and they are not working alone. All the hash rate will get combined, and this is the final hash rate, because all the work. So how things would work, uh, it will divide the task to among all those 21 solo miners, and they will be parallelly working to find that thing. If they will able to do it, you will get the reward in the same place. Okay. So you have the network hash rate, which corresponds to the total working power of the Bitcoin network. The network difficulty indicates the difficulty that must be reached to validate a block. And your best difficulty is the highest difficulty you have reached, because it may happen you are just running 1 terahash, but you may able to achieve higher, or your best difficulty would be more than that, because maybe you will able to find a block which was having higher difficulty. That has happened with the person which was using 1.2 terahash per second, was able to mine a block successfully. Solo, we have covered, because this is just like a lottery. You are completely on your own luck. If you specifically like, if your Bitex or any other solo miner hits the winning hash, 100% of the block reward goes to directly to your Bitcoin address. And in PPLMS, which I have mentioned, pay per last and share. That means if and last and share, it depend on each mining pool. So it will not get distributed like, okay, today I someone found a solo block, it may not happen, it will start distributing everyone. It will only distribute the recent active miners which were contributing on that. Some people also use this PPL in this mode. But if you are running Bitaxe or small miner with around 1 to 5 terahash per second, I always recommend to use it solo, because otherwise the PPLS model will not be profitable for you. You should run it as a solo miner. Now, even here, there are, if you see in public pool, you will find one thing, that they also support Stratum V2 as well. So if your hardware supports, when I'm saying your hardware support, right now most of the hardware supports Stratum V2, but there could be few older one which might not be supporting. So you have to make sure that your device and the firmware support Stratum V2, then only you will able to run it. Just in Bitex, yes. So if you will see this Bitex, you will uh, able to add Stratum V2 as well. So Stratum V2 is also possible. Here they have also mentioned, like if you want to use brains.com, how you can do that. You just need to change this. So you can quickly move from one pool to another pool just by changing the Stratum URL and port. And some OS will give you the flexibility that you can add based on your priority. Like, okay, because it may happen that sometimes some pool may go down. It was happening, like CK pool, they will always be alive, but sometimes it happens. Like initially when they started AU solo ckpool.org, it was down for, it was like frequently goes down because there was something wrong, if I can remember correctly. So you cannot, if you're running a miner, you cannot always check that, okay, whether pool is working fine or not. If pool is not working fine, I need to change it. No. What people generally do, people will always put the first and second alternative. So if you're using Brains OS and all those things, they will provide you flexibility. Even others also provide that. You can add first highest priority pool. Like let's suppose I took it as a public pool, and I took CK pool and Atlas pool. So if public pool is down and it is not giving template, the miner will automatically switch from public pool to CK pool, and after certain time it will keep checking whether public pool again is live or not. If again came live, it will again move from CK pool to the public pool. It will keep happening. And even if let us suppose CK pool also goes down along with the public pool, the third pool which you have configured, Atlas pool, it will start uh, communicating with Atlas pool and will ask you for the template and start working on it. So this way it will make sure, because it will not happen that all three pools suddenly stop working. It is a very, very rare scenario. So you can assume that all the time, once I'm saying all the time means 24 cross 7, uh, the miner will be keep mining things. Okay. Now going back again here, also you always need to make sure that you are checking the port, because in solo PPLS, and this I'm not just telling for public pool, because brains, or if you will see other some pools, they also provide two types of solo and PPLS. It may happen that everything is same, only the port number is different. Like if you will see for Stratum V2 and for this, everything is same, only port number will get changed. So by mistake, if you have, always make sure you have put correct port number. If you by mistake put one extra here, it will become PPLS pool. And even if you are able to mine a block, you will not get the reward. It will get distributed, and because your share is very low. Once I'm saying your share means your hash rate share is very low. That means you will not able to get any large amount out of it. So always make sure the port is correct. And even for some pool, they will always mention some high difficulty port and lower difficulty port as well, so that you can use it. Okay. Now, if you are using Stratum V1 Legacy, then you cannot use TLS. So that also you have to make sure. So if you are running any old um, miner with old firmware that only support Stratum V1 Legacy, you can easily find it on Google. Then you just need to rely on Stratum V1, not with TLS, because TLS was the security upgrade happened few years ago, and uh, if it doesn't support, then you will not able to, if the firmware doesn't support, you will not able to use the TLS functionality. So if it is there, you can use TLS instead of TCP. That is the one thing. Now for V2, yes, you can see, because generally right now people are not using it. I have seen many solo miners, they are still relying on Stratum V1 plus TLS, but right now the movement is people are pivoting from V1 to V2. So you will see little difference here. You are seeing the key here, right? You might be thinking, okay, what is this key? That here I just need to add this address and the port number, similar with V1 plus TLS. But what is actually difference in the Stratum V2? Why we need this public key? Is it a password? No. So this is actually a little game changer in Stratum V2, because V1 was, think like V1 is non-efficient. Like you send so much big packets for a small communication. In a layman term, I'm just explaining you. Okay, Stratum V2 actually use. Okay, you might have used WinZip, right? Or WinRAR, or maybe GIF folder. Why we use that? To shrink the file size, right? Similar way you can think of in Stratum V2, all the frame which we are creating, that we reduce the data, for reducing the data usage and all those things, we use some cryptographic authentication with that specific key which is mentioned here. Okay, so this is a long string of characters which is, you can think as a cryptographic signature for the pool, which will always guarantee that your miner is talking directly to the legitimate pool. So that is encrypted communication. That means even it will not happen that whatever communication is happening between public pool and your miner, uh, no one, because this is a public key. Like you guys might are already aware of public and private key. Same thing you can relate it here. So this is a public key, and public key of whom? Public key of public pool. Means actually it sounds because the name itself of the pool is public pool. Public key of a pool, I could say. Okay, so this is a public key of a pool, and you can use it. Now you might be thinking here they have also mentioned datum. So V1 plus TLS, V2 is also supported in PPLNS, in which also they have provided the public key, and it is the same you see here and here, because the public key of a specific miner would be same. Maybe for different mining pool would be different. So the datum, what he has mentioned here, like if the pool operator choose like which transaction go to the block, because in V1 you are not choosing that, you have all those flexibility on datum. it will allow the individual miner to construct your own block template using your own local Bitcoin node, and then you pass the work to the pool. That means you can easily pass those work to the public pool, and public pool will uh, means you have flexibility to design your own block template, and you are passing it to this, and he will take care of broadcasting everything above. Okay, that means if I will want to explain it in brief, everything what we have covered here in the connection point of view, we have seen the standard solo config. In that we have added TLS later only for network privacy. So whatever the public pool and the miner is communicating, people will not able to see it or sniff it. And V2, you always need a public key of a pool, because that will make sure that whatever you are sending to the public pool will only able to decode it and understand it. PPNS is a shared reward system in which like you will make a group, start mining, and just dividing a risk of the lottery variance. But in you will only do that once your hash rate is good enough, that the percentage is good enough in the contribution. If you are running 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 terahash, I always recommend run it solo mining. Okay. Data, we have also covered that anti-censorship solo. So this is like if you want to run a miner and you also want to make sure that you will be generating a block and choosing a transaction, you can use that, and you can still use the public pool, and public pool will also help you to broadcast it further. Okay. So yeah, that's all rough thing from my side. What I will do, maybe I will share this PDF. Okay. This thing maybe once I will run the miner, I will show it to you in that itself how we can see the fan speed, temperature, and how this is related, and how you make sure that how the firmware and all those things work. Because this I have put it in the later stage. Once people will get enough idea, then maybe you will able to relate more. So that thing we will discuss. And here it will always be. So this is the firmware of Bitex. You will always able to find it on GitHub. You can also build it your own. Means if you want to build it, you can build it. Okay. You will able to find the source code on the GitHub. Okay. Yeah, this is the hardware design. This is the ASP miner. Yes. So here you will able to find it out. The miner, sorry, the firmware, and in that all those things should also be there. How much power consumption you are doing, uh, ASIC, how much ASIC is asking for the power, heat, how much the AC temperature, fan is running at what speed, 100%, 50%, 80%. It depends on the temperature and what, how much performance you are getting at what is frequency ASIC is running. And based on that, you can always run an optimized level, and you can also increase uh, the power and the hash rate by compromising a little bit on efficiency. Okay. And there are many versions of Bitex as well, like GH, which is showing that is a hash rate, because maybe this miner is less than 1 terahash. That's why it is showing 500, below 500 gigas. So this might be the older model of Bitex and all those things. I will share this thing on the mining group. You guys can have a look, and if anyone has any doubts or anything, feel free to ask, or you can ask it later as well after this call. Once you go through this, and if you have any doubt on anything, feel free to ping me, and I will happy to answer on those things. So yeah, if anyone has any question, any doubts, or interested to run a Bitcoin miner, always welcome. I will be more than happy to assist you, like how you start running your miner, which pool you have to use, all those things. You don't need to trust me. I will share you some of the scripts which is already there and we have discussed it earlier. You run it, verify it, and find it out which pool is benefit or beneficial for you, and that you can run it. So yeah, uh, that's all from my side. If anyone has any question, anything, feel free to ask. Otherwise, yeah, we are good for the day.